So hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Footy Fridays. This is week 3, if I believe. In today's episode, we're just going to go over the predictions that we did last week, look forward to the weekend, and then talk about Champions League. And then we'll just see where we go from there. So let's jump into it.
Yep.
So, obviously, Villa beat Arsenal 1-0.
Yeah. I mean, not that shocking, to be honest, with the way Arsenal been performing this season. You could say that Villa were probably favourites. Early goal from Ollie Watkins, was it?
Yeah, it was like 2 minutes in, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Matt Ryan, on his Arsenal debut, conceding, I think it was like 76 seconds, and he hadn't even touched the ball.
Yeah, they need to... It was an odd signing, but I got it. It was just unfortunate that Leno obviously got sent off last week, and he's had to play after about 2 weeks of joining the squad.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. We're just gonna rattle through them. So Burnley drew 1-1 with Brighton.
Yep.
Wasn't much.
Again, I think pretty standard result. Something neither side have looked amazing this season, so a draw is probably expected.
Yeah, and then the Newcastle game, beating Southampton 3-2.
I mean, at the moment, Southampton probably the whipping boys of the league, just because they had that amazing first half of the season, and since after halfway, it's just gone downhill. They've had, 3 or 4 losses in a row?
Yeah, and obviously before that, it was the 9-0.
Yeah, exactly. Let me just have a look at Southampton with that. But a positive, I guess you could take of it, is that Minamino scored on his debut. So
yeah, well, so did Joe Willock for Newcastle.
Yeah, I know.
But that free kick though by Ward-Prowse, what a goal that was!
Yeah, that was unbelievable. I mean, he's probably one of the best in the Premier League with set pieces, especially free kicks. It's almost I'm not going to say it's David Beckham-esque, but it's touching on that. In the Premier League, he probably comes closest to that sort of technique.
Yeah, he definitely. He's got it nailed down to a T.
I'm just seeing that Southampton's last win was against Liverpool, 4th of January, in the Premier League.
Yeah, so,
And then before that was 13th of December. So you're going back 2 months. And
was that when they beat Arsenal?
That's when they beat Sheffield.
All right.
Arsenal was in the cup that they won.
Yeah.
That was 23rd. So they've only won 3 games out of their last 12.
Not ideal.
No, and then the next game's against Wolves in the Premier League, and then Chelsea.
Yeah, I think it's only a matter of time before they get back to where they were. It's just during that time, it's not going to be that good.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they've played the games they've got coming up are they could do well. I mean, if Danny Ings is on form, Shea Adams, James Ward-Prowse, like we said, if their defence is on form, they can do well. It's just that they've had to play some more difficult and challenging games more recently.
Yeah, that's true. And then moving on, Fulham drawing with West Ham 0-0. The only real talking point from that was Souček's red card.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I saw it was to do with an elbow or something.
So basically what happened was it was Souček and Mitrovic on the edge of the box, and so it's a West Ham free kick. So as you would imagine, a defender, just the defending team, he's got his hands sort of not necessarily pushing, but he's got his hands on Souček. Souček is basically just trying to move his arms so he's not interfering with Mitrovic, so he can't claim that he's gone down for anything. So in the moment of doing that, his elbow has caught Mitrovic on the face, and then he's gone down like he's been shot in the face.
All right.
And then because they've done that, I think it was Mike Dean had to whoever was the VAR. I know Mike Dean was the referee. Then went to the monitor and gave Souček a red card because he thought it was violent conduct. But you also see in the after the whole monitor thing, I think Mitrovic says to Mike Dean, "It wasn't anything. It was nothing."
Then why did he go down?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I keep saying. It's like, if you're gonna then go, "Oh, it's nothing. Why'd you go down in the first place?
Exactly, and that doesn't seem like the sort of thing Mitrovic would do, because that seems like the sort of thing that would have happened to Mitrovic, because he's quite a big guy. Yeah, it doesn't make
Yeah.
sense. Mitrovic obviously wanted to get him sent off because otherwise he wouldn't have gone down, and wanted to look like, oh, I'm the bigger man. Like, he didn't actually do anything, but you already went down. You practically got him sent off by reacting. So
yeah, because if you hadn't, there was no intent there was no way. It was always going to be overturned, which was because it was literally like he just brushed him with his elbow.
Yeah,
yeah, it's just it was all a bit of an odd one.
It did get overturned though, didn't it?
Yeah,
yeah.
We would have to.
I like Souček. I think Souček is sort of that sort of friendly giant sort of looking person.
Yeah,
that's not the sort of thing that I can imagine him doing.
No, it was just a
not
bit
intentional
odd.
Anyway. Yeah,
yeah, it was just a bit odd because it was like I said, it was. You could tell it weren't going to be a red card, like any other game or any other player. It was genuinely because Mitrovic's actions. But apart from that, there wasn't much really to talk about in that game.
No, quite surprising. I mean, Fulham have been looking better over the last couple of months, but West Ham as well have been looking on fire the last couple of months. So it was quite a surprising one, but I suppose maybe due to the idea of it being a London derby-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe they went for it a little bit more, Fulham. Again, not out of the ordinary,
Yeah, it was just a bit boring because, like I said, there was nothing really to it.
Yeah.
But a game that wasn't boring on that Saturday was the United versus Everton game.
Yeah, it was a great game to watch.
It was. For a neutral, yeah.
For an Everton fan.
Neutral. Yeah. One thing I've got to say is, if Tuanzebe hadn't have made the challenge and given the free kick away,
you can't blame him for that.
No, I'm not blaming. I'm not blaming him for it. But it's almost like in hindsight. It's hindsight at the end of the day, isn't it?
But if Maguire, for whatever reason, stuck to the defensive line, none of them players would have been onside. For whatever reason, he decided to take 2 steps back, allowing everyone onside. Didn't even challenge for the ball, and then Dominic Calvert-Lewin goes in and scores.
Yeah, I think someone said. If I remember rightly, I think that was his first shot on target.
Probably. I mean, United defended. Well, I was going to say United defended well in the game. They didn't, but it's just Everton didn't take their chances.
Yeah, and that Fernandes goal was incredible.
I know that. Yeah, that was stupid. I was thinking there ain't no way he's going to shoot that, and then it just dipped over the keeper. Keeper had no chance of that.
I think it was just because he was looking for the cross originally, and then because nobody actually came out to him. Because if you watch Tom Davies sort of stands off him and tries to block the cross when he fakes it, and then doesn't go out to get him to smother the chance.
It's the exact sort of area where he would just do a little loft ball over the top towards the back post to find Cavani or something.
Yeah, so they
weren't expecting. Yeah.
So you might as well have a go.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it paid off. He's been playing well. There's been, obviously, over the last few weeks, comparisons to Cantona and his impact on United.
Yeah.
But I think Cantona at the moment is more of a legend, obviously, because he did it over multiple seasons. But we'll see, I suppose, when Fernandes gets older, what sort of impact he has at United if he carries on this form.
Well, the big question then is, will he actually stay at United?
How old is he? 24?
Just double check. He is. Come on. 26.
We'll give it 2 years. If PSG or Real Madrid ain't sniffing about, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
Because I could definitely see him going to Real Madrid.
Yeah, me too. Somewhat, yeah. He's someone who can only. You got to think about people who can pay the money for him.
Yeah, that's true. Because we paid
45,
something like that. Yeah, I mean now in the current market, he's worth double that at least.
Yeah, especially with the performances.
And give it 2 years. If he keeps performing like that, you could be looking at 120, maybe.
Yeah,
depending on how the market is and what other players are going for. But I'd say if he keeps this up for 2 years and Real Madrid or someone wants to come in for him, United could probably get triple what they paid for him.
Yeah, but it just, like I said, it's fine. A, the club's got to be interested in. B, it's got to be a club that can afford him.
Yeah, definitely.
And then moving on to the Sunday's games. First game, Tottenham beating West Brom 2-0.
Yeah, not too much. Not really a surprise in that one, to be honest.
No, it was more how long West Brom managed to keep Tottenham out of it.
Mm.
You know, they didn't score till like the 54th minute, and then obviously, then 4 minutes later, Son goes and scores. But you know, there's not much to it really.
No,
Tottenham
sort of a
weren't going to
score
win.
production. Yeah, exactly.
So one game that could have done with a few goals was the Wolves versus Leicester.
Yeah.
That Fabio Silva should have scored that little chance that he had.
Yeah, I think it's just a lack of experience that does that.
Yeah, because I think I can't remember who. I think it was either Alan Shearer or someone on of whoever was on Match of the Day 2, or one of the guys who was in the studio at Sky Sports said all he has to do there is chip it a little bit, just a little bit, and it's going in.
But again, that comes with 20 years experience.
Yeah.
Whereas how old was he? 19 or 20? He's been playing in Portugal for a year? He's been playing at Wolves for 4 months or whatever. He's not got that experience yet, and throwing him in because you've got a striker out injured, it's definitely not what. I mean, it is what he would have wanted, but not
in the
straight away
situation.
Presumably. Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean. He's 18. He's not even reached 20 yet.
Oh, wow.
You know, he's still got a lot to learn.
Oh yeah, 100%. He looks like he could be a promising player, but it's not ideal to be thrown in at the deep end, especially when Wolves aren't performing.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
If he was doing well and the rest of the team were doing well, it would look like a genius move. But because if you singled out his performances, he probably wouldn't look terrible. But because he's in a team that aren't doing amazing this season compared to last season, you know, they're not doing. It makes him look sort of sloppy.
Because he was always going to be a signing for the future.
Yeah.
But
now, wait. If for next season, say Jimenez comes back, if they don't play him, will people start labelling him as a flop?
I don't think some people would. Some people would, but I don't think. I think most people, again, like I said, the people see it as a future signing. You know, they don't expect him. You don't expect an 18-year-old to be. You don't expect every 18-year-old or whatever to be the next Mbappe.
No, that's true.
Because Mbappe was just a outstanding. It was basically it was it. You have everyone is on the everyone's going that way, but whereas Mbappe was like that.
Yeah.
You know, it was you get he's a 1 in a million.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think at the end of the day, if Jimenez come back and he's not playing as much, people will still be questioning him because he should be able to back up the team.
Yeah.
But I think it won't be like, oh my God, he's a flop. We spent so much money on him. I can't believe we spent all this money and he's done nothing. Because he's 18 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know?
It's big shoes to fill, considering Jimenez and Jota last season carried that team. Probably Jota more than Jimenez.
Yeah. You know? So, it'll just be it's a future signing, one to look forward to the future, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
But one signing that is performing well, not even a signing, just an academy player for City, Phil Foden, got himself a goal, set up, I think, 2 or 3 in City's 4-1 win against Liverpool.
Didn't he get 1 goal, 1 assist?
Yeah.
Didn't he do a chip towards Sterling? Oh no, that was Bernardo Silva.
That was it was Phil, it was like a good one's first goal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about Liverpool anymore. They just looked bad all round. The only way they could score was through a penalty, and just individual players not performing, making mistakes.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say. Last season, the last couple of seasons, they've been really challenging City and even beating them quite convincingly. But yeah, this season, City look unbelievable. Even without Aguero, without to be honest, City strikers, they practically are playing without one. Gabriel Jesus doesn't really contribute. Aguero's been out injured.
I think it was it last night. Yeah, it was last night. It was whoever's on the FA Cup highlight thing said that at the moment Jesus isn't playing out as an out-and-out striker. He's sort of like a false nine. Yeah. And I think it suits City better because they're able to then not necessarily focus everything to Jesus, but they're able to move players around, get passes in between everybody, break people down a lot easier. Because Foden was almost doing that kind of role.
Yeah.
When he played against Liverpool.
I mean, Foden looks crazy. I mean, last season he showed glimpses of it because he was sort of going in and out of the squad. But this season, he's a real mainstay. He's definitely the replacement for David Silva, and you can see, how old is he now? 19, 20? He's, living up to the reputation. He's performing crazy.
I think
he's probably the best. I think he's probably the best English player now. Wait, I had to rephrase that. I'm trying to think of an age range.
Well,
maybe 20.
He's definitely.
He's
definitely got. He's definitely got the potential to be England's. He could. In my eyes, in my view, I think he will be the next English Ballon d'Or winner.
Yeah, I can see that. 100%.
Because just the way he plays, it is like you said, it's almost David Silva-esque because he just makes it look no problem.
Yeah, it makes it look so easy.
When he set up Gundogan, he was dancing round everybody.
Yeah.
Henderson tried to muscle him off the ball.
Yeah. Just that fast footwork, low centre of gravity. He's able to just ease past players. It's like with Messi. I'm not going to compare him to Messi at all, but just the way he's able to stay low to the ground because of his height and able to dribble past players.
See, this is the thing that gets you always hear stories of like some of the coaches of grassroots football saying, "Oh, you're too small. You're never going to make it."
It's more beneficial.
I'm always thinking, you say that, but look at one of the best players in the world. He's not 6 foot.
No, didn't he have to take medicine and injections to get bigger? Yeah,
but look at some of the best players now. Obviously there are big ones like you got Ronaldo and things like that. You got some of the players are tall, but then if you actually have a look, there's quite a few that are under 6 foot that play incredible.
Well, look at David Silva.
Yeah,
he's the replacement for him, and he isn't a giant, and he's one of City's legends, probably one of 3 or 4 of the past sort of 10 years with Aguero and company.
Yeah,
that City will always remember.
Yeah, it's just it always fascinates when you hear about it because like I said, it's you look at the current stage now, and you've got one of the greatest players of all time who's under 6 foot, who's scoring hundreds and hundreds of goals. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it just fascinates me. But yeah, look, like you said, Liverpool just they don't seem to be in themselves at the moment.
No.
Do you know what they need? What they need is a break, or they need somewhere. I know they're out of all other competitions, but this would have been a great opportunity for them if they were still in the competitions, to go to someone like Barnsley or whoever's left in the FA Cup, or if they were still if the Carabao Cup was still going, in the later stages, to go to some of the lower leagues and just get some confidence back.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they perform at the weekend, and I think that'll be the.
Who have they got the weekend?
Leicester.
Yeah, they might be able to get a win there, to be honest.
But we'll see. And then obviously, final game on the Sunday, Chelsea versus Sheffield United, 2-1 to Chelsea.
Mm-hmm.
It was not much of a game. You know, there
Werner
was
still not score.
no. He assisted. He assisted, and managed to get the penalty. But other than that,
Oh yeah,
didn't really. Nothing really stood out. Obviously,
what do you think of Werner?
I think he's a good player. I think he just at the moment. Well, I think under Frank Lampard, I think he wasn't playing in the right position.
Is Tuchel playing him as a striker now?
Yeah, he's playing him centre. He's playing him up front. The play at the moment, he's got like he's almost like it's a 3-5-2. So he's got Giroud at the moment. Against Sheffield United, he was playing Giroud and Werner.
Yeah.
So and I think it works. I think he works like that because he says whether it be on his own or whether it be with a partner up front. But if he plays down the centre, I think that helps him.
Yeah. Well, he's naturally a central attacker.
And I think because Lampard was playing him out of position, because he wanted to get him in the team, and he didn't want to drop someone like Abraham or Giroud, he wanted to get everybody in the team. I think his confidence got knocked, so I think he just needs a little bit more time under Tuchel to build that confidence up a bit more.
Yeah,
and hopefully, sort of the next season, I think he'll kick back into what he was doing in the Bundesliga.
What about did Havertz play?
I don't think so. Unless
I don't know what's happened to him.
No, he didn't play. He wasn't even on the squad.
Wow, it's a good use of 80 million.
Again, I think it's because he was. How old is Havertz? I think Havertz is 20 odd.
20 or 21. You
know, I think it takes time to especially when you're that. Oh, he's injured at the moment as well. That's probably why.
Oh, okay.
3rd of February, he was supposed to return, but he hasn't returned yet. I think because he's 21, and I think coming to the Premier League with how physical it is, I think it takes time to adapt because when the Bundesliga, it's not a walk in the park, but it's not as physically challenging.
Right, yeah.
And I think with Havertz, I think he's not quite used to physical nature yet.
Yeah, but how come players like Foden, I know he's been in the Prem longer, but he's less big, smaller than Foden, and yet Foden doesn't seem to be bothering with it.
I think it's just because with Foden, I think it's more because he's grown up with the English game. The English game has always been. It's not been physically dominating. Like it's always been physical anyway. No matter where, no matter whether it's I know under 9s and things like that is different, but when you start getting to youth level, everyone is still quite physical.
Yeah, I suppose that's true.
So I think it's just the way that it is more than anything.
Just give him a bit more time and see what happens, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's all it is. Because obviously, like coming under new management, it always helps because you're starting afresh.
Yeah.
And then the final game on the Premier League, the weekend Monday, Leeds beating Crystal Palace 2-0.
Yeah.
Again, not much to say about the game.
No.
Bamford getting on the end of the score sheet again.
Mm-hmm. How many goals has he got now? About 10, 11?
Yeah, I think it's like that, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it's turning out quite a devastating finisher, to be honest.
Again, I think that all comes down to just the fact that he's just able to kind of enjoy himself.
How come he was able to do that? He's able to do that with Leeds, but he wasn't able to do it with Middlesbrough because he was in the Premier League with Middlesbrough as well.
I think it. I don't know. To be honest, yeah,
Is it just the system?
I was going to say that's the only thing I can think of. Like, I think it's with Bielsa putting in, not necessarily going, you're the only striker. It's kind of the trust or the system that works for him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's all. I think that's all it is. Whereas Middlesbrough was nowhere
Well, I say
near.
that with Middlesbrough, wasn't it Negredo? Didn't they sign him like partway through the season?
Yeah, something like that.
And then I think that probably pushed Bamford out.
Yeah.
Whereas he is pretty much him and Rodrigo, but then I think Rodrigo either plays alongside him or sometimes plays on the wing, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So Bamford's never really pushed out of the squad.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just down to the system more than anything. And then moving on to midweek FA Cup, Burnley are out. Bournemouth beat them 2-0.
Yeah.
Again, not much to talk about the game. They went 1-0 up in the first half. Bournemouth, then sort of 2 minutes towards the end, got a penalty, 2-0, and then that was it.
I mean, a lot of the games were pretty low scoring, apart from yesterday.
Obviously. Burnley had more possession, more shots. Yeah, it just wasn't really much to it.
Mm-hmm.
And the other game on the Tuesday, United versus West Ham, 1-0 after extra time.
Yeah, it was just a boring game. Nothing really can be said about it. There was a goal, and that was pretty much it. Even though there was an out, there was like 2 hours of football. There was just one goal, one instance, and nothing really else really happened.
Yeah, nothing much to talk about.
No.
And then obviously yesterday, so City beating Swansea 3-1.
Yep.
Again, because it was going to happen. It was a good goal by Jesus as well, though, to get his confidence back up. Nice little touch and turn.
Wait, let me see how many goals he scored this season. I know it doesn't matter, but just in case.
I don't think he's
player profile. He's 23.
In the Premier League, he scored. In the Premier League, he scored 4.
Okay, I'm just going to go. In all competitions this season, he scored 8.
He's played 14 games in the Premier League this season. 3 in the FA Cup, 1 in the Carabao Cup. He's played in the Champions League 3 times. He's still playing, just not as much because I think he's still how old is he? He's 22, 23.
23.
So he's still plenty of time. He's still got time to adapt. Work on it, improve.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think the game last night, he did really well because he's almost changed how he plays because I think he understands what Pep wants from him. Leicester left it late, beating Brighton 1-0.
Yeah. Perez, was it?
Iheanacho.
Iheanacho, sorry.
It was literally corner taken quickly. Brighton weren't set. Iheanacho gets on the end of a Tielemans cross and heads it in. Again,
you're saying about Gabriel Jesus, Iheanacho.
Yeah.
Kelechi Iheanacho, let me have a look at him. Because he was the Gabriel Jesus about 6 years ago.
Was it the Pellegrini era at City?
Jesus, Iheanacho's 24.
Really?
I thought he was like 28. How old was he? He must have been like 18 when he was at bloody City then.
Yeah.
Wow. That's crazy. Him and Jesus are practically the same age.
Wow.
He scored 5 goals this season in all competitions. So 1 in the Premier League and 1 in the FA Cup, 3 in Europa League. So not having a great season, to be honest.
I think it's just because at the moment he's a backup, isn't he?
Yeah, but you'd still expect somewhat more considering the hype he had at City. Well, let me see how many goals he scored at City.
He scored
12 in 46 Premier League games.
Yeah, well, he scored in the senior team. He had 72 appearances for City from January 2014 to August 2017, and scored 26 goals.
Okay.
So I think it's just he will get more goals. I think it's just that at the moment he is just especially now, I think he will end up being a first team striker once Vardy retires, if he retires at all.
How old's Vardy? 33?
Yeah, something like that.
I mean, it might even be like another 2 years until Vardy retires.
Yeah. Well, he's 34.
Oh, I mean, still, it might be another 2 years. He doesn't look like slowing down anytime soon.
No, you're right. And I think Iheanacho is a good sort of option because he doesn't play like he can play like Vardy, but he doesn't naturally play like Vardy.
No, he doesn't have that. I mean, he is fast, but he seems a bit more physical than Vardy. He offers something, although similar, slightly different as well.
Yeah.
More of I'm not going to say more direct because Jamie Vardy's so direct, but like crossing and stuff in terms of aerial ability, which I don't think Jamie Vardy has to a large extent. Jamie Vardy has good aerial ability, but I think Iheanacho, I mean, as shown as yesterday, or could be better.
Yeah, another match that didn't really pan out. Well, it panned out, but it wasn't really that interesting. Was Sheffield United versus Bristol. Mm-hmm. Sheffield United beating them 1-0 for a penalty. Bristol City having a man sent off, causing the penalty from a handball.
I mean, again, it will do confidence for Sheffield United. Obviously not in the Premier League, but they've had the last couple of months. Yeah, the last sort of month they've had. I think they lost 1-0 to City. They beat United. They beat them. And what was the last result? Didn't they win against Everton? No, that was Newcastle. I forget.
So they beat beat Bristol. They lost to Chelsea. Beat West Brom. Lost to City and beat United.
Yeah, so they are doing better. Let's have a look at the table. They are. I mean, they're still 12 points off safety, but they're only 1 point away from West Brom and 4 from Fulham. So
and they play West Brom at West Hampshire, say, on Monday, and then they play Fulham next weekend.
The Fulham game will be crucial.
Yeah,
but even then, they're still pretty far away from the rest of the pack. Even Burnley's on 23, and they've got a game in hand. So it's not looking promising for the bottom three, to be honest. They need to hope that that Burnley, Newcastle, Brighton sort of start to slip up a bit more because they're the sort of teams that are getting that odd win.
Yeah, because it was like Brighton against Liverpool, Burnley against Liverpool, Brighton against Tottenham. Yeah, they are picking. It's just been a bit of an odd. It's just one of those seasons at the moment.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very strange season.
Yeah. And then the most exciting game of midweek, Everton beating Tottenham 5-4 after extra time. I mean, I didn't watch the game because it was on BT, but I was watching Soccer Special, watching them all go in.
Yeah.
For Neck, it was a bit
something. Of a goal fest. Yeah, I know. You would have I think in current form, you probably wouldn't have expected that from either side.
No.
Tottenham at the start of the season was scoring for fun, but have now sort of started to slow it down.
Well, I think at the start of the season, it was almost like we can go if we go all out in the start of the season, we don't have to. It's not necessarily we don't have to worry too much about the end of the season, but we know we've got enough goals if we need them.
Yeah.
Whereas now, I think Mourinho's sort of set the side up to be a counter-attacking team, so they're not scoring as many goals.
Right. Okay.
Whereas at the start of the season, they were counter-attacking, but they were more dominating.
Yeah.
But the best bit about the scoreline is the fact that I think it was when Tottenham beat Arsenal, or Arsenal beat Tottenham, and it was 5-4. And he said it's not a football score; it's a hockey score. And if it was a training match and it was 3-3, and it was 5-4, I'd bring them into the changing rooms and tell them that the defending was terrible. And that was like a few years ago while I was at Chelsea.
Yeah. Who said that?
It's Mourinho.
Oh. I bet he regrets saying that.
I don't think he even. I bet he'll say one thing. He'll go is, "I never said that."
Yeah. No, that doesn't exist. You're making it up.
Yeah. Gylfi Sigurdsson played well.
Yeah, he has spurts every now and then, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think. Well,
not quite the player he was at. I mean, I get he used to play for Tottenham, so going against his old club.
Yeah. 3 assists, 1 goal. Obviously, it was a penalty, but still.
Davinson Sanchez had a bit of a standout performance.
Yeah. Again, he's a player that doesn't really play that much.
No, he's more of a backup nowadays.
Yeah.
I mean, Everton... Go on, sorry.
Yeah, we saw Dele Alli being introduced as well. Again,
I mean,
he's not a player. See, I think at the start, I think he was good. He was a good player.
First sort of year, he showed promise. Sorry.
But I think at the moment it's a case of he's got too big. He thinks he's too big.
He hasn't played regularly for about a year, so why the hell do you think he's that big?
But I just kind of get that feeling.
He was the poster boy of Tottenham for about a year and a half. I get that.
Yeah. It almost, but you know what I mean? It's like it almost feels like he's kind of gone, oh, I've done what I needed to do in the first year. It warrants a move to PSG.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of feels like.
Yeah, it seems like it's gone to his head. He was hoping for that big move, and it hasn't happened, and now he just looks crap because he's not playing as often.
Yeah.
And that move isn't going to come.
No, not now, definitely not.
I mean, unless he finds form again and plays week in, week out and is scoring, 8 to 10 goals a season and assisting loads, it ain't going to happen.
Yeah, no, it's just it's an odd one because obviously you don't want to see an England player fail because then it's like, well, the worst thing is if he starts to perform well, it begs the question: who exactly does he take on an England squad? You've got Phil Foden, who's playing roughly the same position as Dele Alli, James Maddison, Jack Grealish. They're just the ones that are performing well at the moment in that exact that central attacking midfielder role.
Do you want to go through that, or do you want to carry on with this and then talk about that at the end? Because I was going to say that could be something to talk about.
We'll segue onto that.
Sweet.
It's an interesting thing. It's a natural segue.
Well, I was just thinking how long has it been since England have had this much depth in quality? It's been years.
The only issue I have with the England squad is the depth at left back.
I think it's
Ben Chilwell, Luke Shaw,
Ryan Bertrand.
Not recently. No,
but I mean as
depth, as
a potential. Yeah.
But let's all right. Here's the question. Let's imagine you're the manager of England. Off current performances, the Euros are happening within the next month or so. Off current performances, who are you taking?
What, my first 11 or just who am I taking in general?
Just either, both.
Okay. Right, I'll go. What shall I do then? Shall I go through who they've picked and if I would have picked anyone else?
If that, yeah, do that. Let's do
I'm
that.
looking at the squad now.
Yeah.
So they've got Pickford, Pope, Henderson. I don't think you can disagree with any of them.
Well, no, because if you think about it, they're the really only top 3 goalkeepers we've got.
The only other one you could potentially say is Alex McCarthy. That's at Southampton, but then again, it's like
He's not really. He's been okay.
Yeah, I mean,
he's had a
there
few
really
standout.
isn't.
He's had a few standout bits, but overall,
He doesn't offer anything different.
No,
and I think he's older than all the rest of them.
Yeah, but the question is, do you start? Who do you start out of those 3?
I would start Nick Pope.
Okay.
I think that's what a lot of people would, but Southgate obviously won't. He will start Pickford.
Well, at the moment, Olsen's being picked over Pickford.
Is that not through injury or is that through performance?
I swear that's through performance. I'll have a look. You keep going. I'll have a look.
Okay. So with the defenders as well, I think they've almost got it right. But yeah, I'm looking at defenders. They haven't got a registered left back on the thing. But is this, when I'm looking on the men's senior England FA squad, is this the squad they're bringing?
No, I think that's the squad. I think that's the squad for last.
Oh, never mind.
I think
I'll look for the squad for the European qualifiers.
Right, so Pickford's injured.
Right, okay, so that's the
rib injury. Well, he was expected to return the 5th of February.
Right, okay.
So obviously it depends.
So then who would replace him? Would you put in a youngster? Or would you put in just an old veteran like maybe Fraser Forster or, McCarthy?
I'd probably pick McCarthy.
Or even Joe Hart. He's still playing.
Well, all you need is someone who's got regular first team football.
Yeah, that's true. Right.
It's just finding them though.
Yeah. So here's goal.com's predicted England squad. So Pickford, Pope, Henderson. Yeah, I don't think you can deny that. The defenders, Michael Keane, I think deserves a shot. Connor Cody, I would agree with. Kyle Walker, agree with. Alexander-Arnold, agree with. Chilwell, agree with. Trippier, less so, but I think because he's been such an instrumental part of England for sort of the last 4 years, especially at the World Cup. I think that World Cup has held him in such high regard.
Well, yeah, because it was that free kick raised the spirit of the nation.
Yeah,
and it had. To be honest with you, I think most of the nation's been dining out on that free kick for a while.
Definitely, that's what everyone sort of remembers him for. Tyrone Mings as well. The problem with that is that it depends. If I was them, I'd bring what? How many players are you allowed to bring? 23, is it?
I thought it was 26.
Oh, okay.
Because I think it's a 23-man squad, but it's 26 with three reserves. I think.
Right. Okay. So I'll just go with my 23. So I would agree. Jordan Pickford, Nick Pope, Henderson, Maguire, Keane, Cody. I think I agree with all them bar Trippier because I don't see why you need Kyle Walker, Trent Alexander-Arnold, and Trippier.
Yeah.
So I think if you go 4 centre backs, 2 left backs, not 4 centre backs, say 3 centre backs and Kyle Walker, another right back, and 2 left backs, I think you're pretty much set. So I say you could take out Kieran Trippier and replace him with another left back. And personally, I'd go Luke Shaw.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be mine.
I agree.
So I'd probably play Chilwell above Luke Shaw.
At the moment, yes. If Luke Shaw,
unless Chilwell did something terrible.
Well, yeah, unless Luke Shaw going into the, for example, if his performances were way above Chilwell within the next. If the Euros were to happen next month and Shaw's performances were way up above Chilwell literally just before the Euros, Shaw's got plenty of confidence going into it. So yeah, that's probably the only reason why you'd start him over Chilwell.
And then, with the rest of the squad that they've picked, I can't I can't argue with it. Jordan Henderson, I mean, he's pretty much going to be probably the heart of that team. Declan Rice.
But the question is, do you take out some of the more defensive-minded players to make room for some of the attacking players?
No, because I think they've still got a lot of attacking options. I still think even if you put in defensive, say if you take 3 different defensive midfielders, you've still got a lot of attacking options to put in. I don't think that hinders it at all. I think you need defensive options because I don't think that England defence is 100% ready. I think there's mistakes in that team. I mean, you see Kyle Walker making mistakes for England. You see Trent Alexander-Arnold for Liverpool this season not looking 100%. Kieran Trippier probably isn't going to look amazing. Harry Maguire's not going to be great. You know, if Jordan Pickford starts in goal, he's not 100% confident. I think you need that solid line just in front to just protect the defence and goalkeeper just that slight more. And I think Jordan Henderson is probably one of the first names on that team sheet in terms of the defensive players.
One player that we haven't mentioned defensively, John Stones.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about him. I think now with the England squad, it's sort of, I don't know what the phrase is. I'll just say it like this. It's sort of cool to put in players that don't necessarily get a look in. So players like, you know, Tyrone Mings, Connor Cody, Kieran Trippier, you know, players like that, Jadon Sancho, who play elsewhere other than the top sort of 4. It's sort of cool and, you know, trendy to put them in.
I think it's more because of at the more, you know, when as England now, you know, I think the oldest player is, I think the oldest player's got to be like Harry Kane.
No, what's his face? Jordan Henderson's older than Harry Kane.
Well, you got Jordan Henderson. I think Jordan Henderson, Walker maybe. Jordan Henderson, Walker, Trippier,
Walker might be,
and Kane. I think are the oldest players.
Probably they're touching 30.
Yeah, and whereas in the previous England squads, the oldest player, you know, was beyond 30.
Yeah, 32, 3.
You know.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm not counting Danny Ings, for example, because he didn't really play for. He hasn't really in the current squad. He hasn't really played that much for England.
I swear, Danny Ings only like 28.
But then he's still around the age of Harry Kane.
Yeah, Danny Ings is 28.
Because Harry Kane's like 27, 28.
Harry Kane is 27. Harry Kane's younger than Danny Ings.
Yeah. So, you know, with the fact, I think at the moment England aren't necessarily looking. They're not looking for players who are just about either. You know, they've got players who are just about to hit 30, but they're not not necessarily looking at that age bracket as the main focus. Whereas in past England's squads, it was most of the players were in that 30, 32, 33 to like 26, 25 in that age bracket.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think you're saying that players were sort of being picked regardless of age because they've been in the team for years, whereas now other players are getting a chance, which I do agree with. But yeah, like John Stones there, wouldn't it be a wiser decision to pick John Stones, who has been in the England squad for, like previously, he's been at tournaments, rather than say Connor Cody?
Because he was at the World Cup, wasn't he?
Well, yeah, exactly. Wouldn't it be wiser to, and look at the season. Look at the season he's had compared to like Connor Cody, who is struggling at Wolves.
Yeah. See, for me, I'd probably the only one I take out of that what you said, what you were agreeing with. I'd only take out Connor Cody for John Stones. That would probably be the only one, and then, like you said, bring in a few more left backs.
I'd just say Luke Shaw for Kieran Trippier.
Yeah.
Because I don't think Kieran Trippier even starts, to be honest.
Not right now, no. Not with that, especially like we said, how Walker's playing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and then moving on forward, I think England are starting. Like I said, they're not looking at they're not looking at the. They're not, to be honest with you, I don't even think they're looking at players over 25.
It doesn't look like it. No, I'd say 80% of the team are 25 and below.
Because I think the last time we put out our team, I think the average age was something like 23, 24.
Yeah, like I said before, there's a lot of young. I mean, the England players below 25 are way more exciting and are probably better quality than the ones that are over.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think you're looking at the only one that's of quality that's above 25 is probably Jordan Henderson and Harry Kane.
Yeah, definitely. And they're always going to be a shoo-in because of what they bring to the team as well. Not necessarily just not necessarily just them.
Yeah. But I agree with Mason Mount has to get in, Declan Rice has to get in. The one I'm always confused with why I see him is Harry Winks.
Yeah, because for me, I'd bring, obviously you got Henderson, Rice, and then you got Mount, and for me that's when I think you should. I think Harry Winks will be losing his spot for the Euros.
To who?
To someone like Phil Foden, someone like Jack Grealish, someone along, but Bukayo Saka.
Yeah, but where would he play? Would he play as a winger or as a left back?
Well, he can play. He plays either, doesn't he? I think for England he's like a wing back.
Right.
So, you've got there's still plenty of players that you could easily take out. Well, you've got plenty of players that you could easily replace. It's just, especially at the moment,
Yeah. I think there aren't many. The team that they've got are probably the team that is pretty surefire. There's the odd one, like we said, like Saka potentially, John Stones,
Grealish,
like Aaron Wan-Bissaka potentially.
Yeah,
I think the not shoo-ins, but I'd say out of every position, sort of the goalkeepers are pretty set. The defenders, other than I'd say the only questionable ones are Trippier and Conor Cody. Midfield, I mean, the ones I've got on here are Henderson, Rice, Mount, Winks, Foden, Grealish. Well, that's them. I'd say you can't really argue. The only one that I would probably think would be in there is Dyer. I think Eric Dyer is always sort of funneled in, like, no matter what.
But then I think it's more because of what Eric Dyer brings to the team, because he's not, even though he's
adaptability.
Yeah, that's exactly what that's what I was going to say. He can play. Obviously, he's not going to play him at left back, right back, or even any further forward than midfield. But he does a job in quotation marks. So that's the only other one you could say, because he's not done too bad again with Alderweireld at the back at the back for Tottenham.
But then again, if he goes in, they haven't included him on this list. So where would he go? He would probably be included, in my opinion, as probably a defender.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then who do you take out? Do you leave Conor Cody out for him? Do you not take Michael Keane? Who would be your starting centre backs?
My starting centre backs would probably be Maguire and Stones.
I was going to say Keane and Stones.
That was debating between both. It was either going to be Maguire and Stones, or Keane and Maguire and Keane and Stones.
I think Keane just looks a bit more assured on the ball and probably doesn't have a big mistake in him like I think Maguire does.
Yeah.
Then again, Maguire's been at the World Cup. He looked amazing. Well, he looked solid at the World Cup.
Yeah, and I think when if he has someone that he can understand, for example, I don't mean that sounds a bit odd. That he's got someone that he can understand. He gets John Stones when you saw him at the World Cup. Maguire looked safe.
Yeah.
Whereas
Maguire needs that assurance from another defender.
Yeah.
which I don't think partnering someone like Connor Cody potentially does. I think you have to. I think you start Stones regardless. You just got to find that right match.
Yeah, that's the issue with the England internationals in general, because you can't exactly just.
You have good individuals. It's just whether they
Yeah.
can play well as a whole and play well with someone else.
Yeah, and then attacking wise, obviously Harry Kane starting.
Yeah.
Well,
Who would your front three be?
See, obviously Kane's going through the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's a question of, is it Sterling and Sancho? Is it Sterling and Rashford? Is it, for example, do they even do the thing and play Mount, on the wing? Do they play Saka on the wing? Do they play Foden on the wing?
Well, I would do Harry Kane in the middle. Say they play a front three. Harry Kane in the middle. I think Jack Grealish, if he's not playing as a midfielder, play him on the left. And then I think you've got to play Sancho.
Yeah. If it's not Sancho, it's going to be Sterling, definitely.
Yes, it's a debate between Sancho, Grealish, Sterling, and Rashford.
Yeah.
But I think you've got to start Sancho. But then again, I think you've got to start Grealish.
Yeah, this is the issue at the moment. You've got players performing incredibly.
Yeah.
Almost too many players performing incredibly. And I'm so happy I don't have to pick the squad.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the thing with the history, like when Fabio Capello was there, I mean, it was always Gerrard, Lampard, Rooney,
Yeah.
Occasionally Crouch would come in or Defoe or whatever.
Yeah. There was... You could easily bet your house on who was going to be in the England squad.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas with
now there's like 2 or 3 options in every position.
Yeah, because you could easily have an England A team and an England B team.
100%, and you probably wouldn't be able to pick which one was which.
Yeah.
Well, whichever one Harry Kane was in is the A team. Let's be honest.
But even then, you still got playing like Calvert-Lewin.
Mm-hmm.
And then that's just looking at, right now.
You could probably even make 3 teams, to be honest.
Yeah. That's even just looking at England players right now, let alone some of the ones in the future.
Yeah, give it 2 years. There's quite a few abroad, isn't there?
Yeah, because there's a couple in Germany. Because
there's one in PSV.
Damari Gray, he went to Leverkusen.
Yeah.
In the summer, in the winter.
Oh, who's that one? Edwards. He's on loan from Tottenham. He plays in Portugal.
Yeah. I know which one you're talking about.
He's quite highly rated, isn't he?
Yeah. So you've got him. You've got. I think there's a guy called Ronaldo Vieira, he's on loan at Verona at the moment. I think from Sampdoria. I think.
Let's just have a look.
You've got Tomori's gone on loan to AC Milan.
Right, I've got a list here. Let's just go through this. That's all right. All right. So you've got Eberici Eze. Does he even make the squad?
See, I don't know whether. See, that's the question. I don't know whether he's English, because I thought he'd already said that he's playing for Nigeria.
Yeah, it says he's eligible to play for Nigeria.
I've heard that he's already said that he was playing for Nigeria.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
I don't know whether that's true or not.
I'm just reading a report that was from about 7-8 months ago, and it says he's eligible.
So unless
I don't know whether he has.
Yeah.
You got Ben White.
Yeah.
Someone that I think's quite underrated, Dwight McNeil.
Yes.
I think he's a very good player, and he's definitely the standout player at Burnley over the past sort of 2 years.
Yeah.
I could definitely see him going to a Leicester, West Ham, someone sort of mid-upper, even Southampton.
Mm.
He looks very good, very sharp. Jude Bellingham as well. I mean, he made the squad last time.
Yeah.
But I don't think he makes it again, to be honest.
I think it's just because of the age. You know, I don't even think he's 18 yet, is he?
No, I think he's still 17. But let me have a look.
So, you know,
he's still 17.
You know, there's plenty of players to pick above him because of the age.
Yeah. What about that Josh De Silva for Brentford?
Yeah, he is a decent player.
He's
scored. I think he scored 2 goals last night.
Possibly. He looks crazy. Very good centre mid.
I think he was linked with Tottenham at one point.
Yeah, I think he was. You've got Louis Barry at Villa. You've got, I'll just go through a few. Tariq Lamptey at Brighton.
Yeah, that's another one.
Reece James, who will probably get in the squad. Anthony Gordon at Everton.
Yeah.
Just having a look. Mason Greenwood, Matty Longstaff, Ethan Ampadu, Ryan Sessegnon.
Ampadu's Welsh.
Oh, oh yeah. Brilliant. Ryan Sessegnon.
Yeah. Because he's on loan at Hoffenheim, isn't he?
Yep. That's it on this. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of options to choose from. Gareth Southgate's going to have a job.
Like we said, there's the guy at Bayern Munich.
Masiala.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You've got, like I said.
I think Joachim Low wants to play him for Germany.
But got to get in there quick. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You know, you've got Ronaldo Vieira, who plays for Sampdoria, but he's on loan at Verona, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Reece Ox, I know Reece Ox would maybe not be the same player he was, but I know he's in Germany. Lookman.
Mm. Yeah, if he performs this, I can't even talk. On.
I know what you meant though. But then you've got other players like if next season, if you got then you've got like Loftus-Cheek, and I know he's not played well this season, but if he ends up getting a better consistency, I think he could be another one.
I think he gets overlooked because he's had injuries and he's not been in the Chelsea squad for long, things like that. It's just hard to choose someone that's not playing consistently.
Mm. And then,
despite like class.
Yeah, and then you still got like I said, you got Tomori's on loan at AC Milan.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got plenty of Hudson-Odoi.
Yeah, I definitely think he'll make the squad sort of within the next sort of 12 to 18 months.
Mm-hmm. You know, and they're just just quick ones that we know off our heads. You know, there's probably plenty of younger talent in the under 23s, under 19s, in the under 18s and things like that will come through eventually.
100%. It's exciting for England at the moment.
Yeah.
Right. Forget that segue.
Now we're going to segue other games. Now we're going to segue out of that.
Yep.
Because we're not going to look at the weekend. We're going to go ahead of the weekend.
Okay.
Well, no, we'll look at the weekend, but there's only really 2 games I want to cover.
Okay.
One of them is Leicester Liverpool. The other is Man City Tottenham.
Okay.
So first, Leicester Liverpool. Leicester being at home.
Yeah. I don't think that's much of a contributing factor, to be honest.
No, especially not now, because there's like no fans on that.
I'd say I'll say 2-2.
I think 2-1 Leicester.
I'll be happy if just Liverpool don't win, to be honest.
Only because, like Leicester have got a few injuries, but nowhere near the severity of Liverpool's.
It's not as impactful.
Yeah, exactly. Because Leicester have got quite a few.
Leicester are able to survive.
Yeah. Bringing in Under, for example.
Yeah.
That was a good move. So, yeah, I think 2-1 Leicester.
Okay, I'll say a draw.
And then City, Tottenham.
I don't know, because Tottenham... I don't know. I mean, I don't ever see Tottenham winning that game.
No.
It just depends how many City want to win by.
I don't think it'll be as many as against Liverpool, because I think Tottenham will be more...
No.
I think Tottenham will be more solid at the back.
Yeah, definitely.
So I would probably say it'd be 2-1, maybe another 2-1, because I can see Tottenham I can see Tottenham getting a goal, but I think whether it be an early goal or a late goal, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll say 2-1 as well, to be honest. I think it'll be quite a close game, but I think players like Foden, for example, will just outclass like Ndombele and Sissoko and all that. I just think he's just too good versus other Premier League players.
Yeah, I completely agree. But then, moving on to the topic that I mentioned at the start, the holy grail of European club football is back. The Champions League.
Hallelujah!
The champion. So on Tuesday, it's Barcelona versus PSG.
Yep.
And then it's Leipzig versus Liverpool. First,
wait,
Leipzig
what channels are these on?
BT.
Yeah.
Go
on, sir.
The thing is, Leipzig versus Liverpool, that's going to be held in Bulgaria. Is it Bulgaria? Puskas Arena?
I don't know.
So Bulgaria or Hungary, one of the two. I've just sounded really bad when I've said that. I should know what that is. We'll stick with it. Don't matter. So yeah, so the fact that Leipzig aren't even playing, nobody's playing in their home stadium. I don't think that's going to make much of a difference at the moment.
Yeah.
Leipzig have got a better form going into it at the moment, winning 4 out of 5. Whereas Liverpool have obviously won only 2.
Yeah, I think Leipzig at the moment probably are all round a more solid side, just because they don't have that difference in quality between the midfield and the defence and the attack. Like, it's all pretty solid. Obviously, they got rid of Werner, but they still managed to keep players like Upamecano. Galashi obviously used to play for Liverpool. There's a guy called Adams, I think it's CDM, an American. They've got Hang Wei-chan.
Yep.
And who's that other striker?
You got
Danish one.
Soloth.
No. He's black. I forgot whether. That's going to annoy me.
Danish?
Poulsen.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, they've got him as well, who has been, has shown up to games before. I'd say a Leipzig win. I don't think it'll be big. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a 1-0.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah.
It'd be like a 1-0 or a 1-1 or a 0-0.
Yeah, maximum 2 goals, but I think Leipzig will take it 1-0.
Yeah, and then I mentioned before at the start the Barcelona versus PSG.
Oh, that's so hard to predict.
You know, Barcelona come into this. Well, they both come into this on exactly the same form. Won 4 out of 5, lost 1.
Yeah. Neymar's injured though, isn't
No,
he? He got taken off yesterday, didn't he?
no injury. No, I don't. Unless he's not been recorded, but no, doesn't say here.
All right, let me look that up. Yeah, it says PSG star Neymar in doubt for Barcelona Champions League clash after injury.
Yeah, there's nothing here to say that he's out.
Well, he came off the other day. I think either yesterday or the day before with an injury.
You know, Barcelona. So Fatty's injured, PK's injured, Braithwaite's injured.
What you call me?
Hey, PK's injured, Braithwaite's injured, Pjanic is injured, Coutinho's injured, Roberto's injured, Dest is injured. You know, these are first team players.
I mean, Dest isn't.
Well, you know,
but it might be. I don't actually know.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. So Neymar suffered an adductory injury in Paris Saint-Germain's win at Caen. But Moise Kean has claimed he will be fit to face Barcelona.
Okay. I'll say a 3-1 win to PSG.
I'm going to say 2-1 win to PSG.
Okay.
More because I think they will win, because Barcelona have not been nowhere near where they have been previously this season.
No.
And I just think it'll just be a case of, with Pochettino coming in, you know, his first Champions League game at the new club.
Yeah.
He'll just want to go out there and just get something.
Yeah, that's true. I just think PSG going forward just looked too strong. Obviously, Moise Kean didn't look like it would have been a good signing, but he's just added to what they've already got. If Neymar doesn't play, obviously he's a massive loss, but I think they've got enough going forward anyway.
Yeah.
Whereas Barcelona, again, they rely on the older players, and the youngsters they bring in are good, but there's still such a gap.
Yeah, because, you know, I'll admit I haven't watched Barcelona a lot because I can't. But from what I've seen in glimpses, it almost seems like the Arsenal problem, where some of the younger players actually look better than some of the older players.
Yeah,
and
Griezmann's terrible.
Yeah, and then when you've got, you know, your star player Messi, who, you know, he had his contract leaked in the paper a couple of weeks ago. I think he was on he's on massive money. I can't remember how much it was. You know,
it's going to be stupid.
The clubs going into losing money as we speak.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, I think it's just a downward spiral at the moment at Barcelona.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but I think PSG are pretty. I'd be shocked if they didn't win, to be honest.
Yeah, me too. Champions League Wednesday. Porto versus Juventus is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
Juventus will win that.
Yeah, I mean, just one word.
Yeah.
She's just looking at me like, you're crazy. I was going to say Ronaldo, but then I thought, you know.
But it's fun though if you do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Do you know who that is?
Yeah, you know, it's just the quality of Juventus. So they took way too much for Porto.
It's the quality of Ronaldo. I mean, Juventus. That's what will get him over the line. No, Ronaldo. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he scores a hat trick. To be honest.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. It's going to be I think it'll be a high scoring game. It's just a case of them being able to do what they do.
I'd say 4-1, 4-0.
Yeah, I agree. Because it wouldn't surprise me if you see someone like, you know, people like, obviously Ronaldo will be on the score sheet, but it'd be like people like Arta, other people, some of the other people that won't necessarily get on the score sheet, but just aren't not normal names on the score sheet.
Yeah, I was going to say I wouldn't be surprised if people that don't necessarily always play. So, Chiesa, McKennie, Kulusevski, Demiral.
Yeah.
Just sort of players. I mean, even Aaron Ramsey, I wouldn't be surprised if he scored.
Yeah. It's a chance of them. It's a chance for them to kind of just. Obviously, I know they're not doing terrible in the season, but they're nowhere near what they would want to be in.
Well, let me see.
They're
currently third in the league, 7 points off top.
Yeah, so they're nowhere near what they would like to be. So I think this is like I mentioned, about Liverpool, about them needing a break to go to like Barnsley or something.
Yeah,
I think this is almost like that for Juventus.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity to score 3, 4, 5 goals, get a bit of confidence going to the next game.
Yeah, I think like
against Napoli's their next game.
Yes, I think that gives them, because obviously Napoli, won't be a walk in the park, but it won't be the hardest game that they've done. There'll still be a challenge, and I think the Porto game will be able to almost be like a reset button.
Napoli's before Porto. They've got Crotone after.
All right, yeah. So I still think that the Porto game is almost like a reset button for them.
Yeah.
And then the final game on this Champions League week is Sevilla versus Dortmund.
Okay.
Dortmund are without Witsel, Zagadou, Smeltzer, Berkey, Meunier, and Hazard.
I still think, because Sevilla are quality.
Whereas Sevilla are without Navas, Ocampos, Acuna, and Rodriguez.
I'll say a draw for that one. I'll say 1-1.
I think it'll be a Dortmund win, but I think it'll almost be like a 1-0 or a 2-1. I think Haaland will get on the score sheet.
Yeah.
But other than I don't, and Sancho might score. Me?
What's all that rattling sound?
Oh, that's a rapper that I was eating something.
Exposed.
I know.
Fitness February. Yeah, right.
Wow. So yeah, like I think it'd be a Dortmund win.
Yeah. Okay.
Only by 1 or 2 goals if they do win.
I'll go with a draw just because I think Sevilla, they just look pretty strong.
Yeah. Again, only time will tell.
Yeah.
And then moving away from Champions League, but staying in Europe, Thursday, Europa League. Mm-hmm. So we're just going to go over some of the main ties. You've got Real Sociedad versus United. That could be a tough one for United.
I'm trying to think of the standout players for Sociedad. I'm thinking Januzaj, he could come back. I forgot that. Yeah, David Silva. Where are they in the league? They're currently 6th.
Yeah, I was going to say that I thought they were top 10.
So some of their standout players, David Silva, Alexander Isak, that was at Dortmund.
Yeah.
Oyarzabal, Januzaj, Porto, Monreal's there as well. Yara Mendy that used to play for Real Madrid.
Yeah.
So they have got some quality. I still think United will be too strong. I don't think they'll absolutely thrash them, but I would say 2-0 to United.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd go 2-0 as well. Slavia Prague versus Leicester. I think Leicester have got that one.
Yeah, I think either 1-0 or 2-0. I think Slavia Prague, will look solid, but I just don't think they'll have the clinical finishing that a team like Leicester have.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'll be like, I think it will be 3-1, 3-0.
I think it'll be a close game. I think 1-0 Leicester.
Benfica versus Arsenal.
Oh, Benfica, just smash them. Again, it's a team like Real Sociedad. I forget. You always remember Benfica, but I always forget. I never realise who plays for them. So they've got Everton, Suarez.
Grimaldo.
Yeah, Everton, Suarez. They've got Otamendi. They've got Vertonghen.
Yeah.
Julian Weigl, that was at Dortmund. Pizzi. Tarapt.
Yeah.
I mean, they're the main ones. Rafa Silva. But they have got some, I mean, Otamendi and Vertonghen at centre-backs are quality.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Benfica win. I'll say 2-1 Benfica.
I think 2-0 Benfica.
Oof.
I don't think... only because I don't know whether Arsenal will be able to necessarily break them down. They'll have the quality in the squad, you know, Aubameyang and things like that. But I just don't think they'll perform as good.
Yeah, I think what Benfica, obviously they've got that Everton Suarez, but I couldn't really see a recognisable striker. They've got that Pizzi and things like that. So they've got good wide players, but I'm not necessarily sure if they've got the central player. But then again, they've got the solid defence. They've got a decent, you know, wingers. So there's going to be a lot of pressure put on Arsenal, especially if their strikers don't do much. It's going to be hard for them.
Yeah. You got Royal Antwerp versus Rangers.
I think that's a pretty dead set.
Yeah, Rangers.
Just, one of the best teams. To be fair, Rangers are probably one of the better teams in the competition.
Yeah.
One of the underdogs.
I was going to, because they're not exactly favourites, because there are still plenty of good sides in the Europa League.
But there aren't many teams in that. Like, even teams like Napoli or Arsenal.
Well, you've got AC Milan, PSV, United, Leicester, Tottenham, Leverkusen, Benfica, Arsenal, Napoli, Lille, Ajax, Hoffenheim, Rangers, Salzburg, Villarreal. You know.
So this is the round of 32. So I would say that Rangers will probably get to the quarterfinals.
Yeah, because they'll come up against someone like Leverkusen or, you know, some of the other bigger sides,
Braga or someone.
Yeah,
Rochdale.
I wish.
Yeah.
You know, then some of the other big ties. You know, you got Lille, Ajax, Granada, Napoli. Young Boys, Leverkusen. One English team we forgot to mention was Tottenham. Wolfsburger, AC versus Tottenham.
Scratch me.
I'm so sorry.
Get out. Sorry. So yeah, Wolfsburg, Tottenham. I think 3-0 Tottenham.
Yeah, it's gonna be a Tottenham. It's because Tottenham written all over it.
Yeah.
You know, like I was saying, some of the other big ties. You know, Olympiacos, PSV, Red Star, Milan.
Lille, Ajax is a big game.
Yeah. You know, there are plenty of big games. No, Braga, Roma.
Mm-hmm. There's a lot. Yeah, the Europa League. I think offers a bit more excitement than the Champions League, because often you'll find top clubs versus teams that struggle. Whereas in the Europa League, like Braga, Roma, Lille, Ajax, Dynamo Kiev, Club Brugge, Benfica, Arsenal, they're all solid clubs, but they're not quite at the top, and they'll offer a good game. Like, you couldn't predict it, whereas a lot of the Champions League games you can.
Yeah, I think it also the Europa League also gives teams chance to fight. You know, like for example, who was in the Champions League and got knocked out? Was it Salzburg was in the Champions League, weren't they?
I think so. They usually.
So Leverkusen as well. I think they were in the Champions League as well, weren't they?
Yes.
So those kind of like teams, and I think Olympiacos was as well. I know definitely Club Brugge was.
Well, Ajax or PSV presumably were one of them.
Yeah, I think it was Ajax because they were in Chelsea's group, weren't they?
Yeah.
You know, so it gives those teams a chance to actually fight for Champions League football, because if in the respective leagues, if they don't necessarily quite get to it, like Arsenal, for example, if they end up dropping out the European spots and they end up winning the Europa League, they're going straight to Champions League.
Well, look what happened with United when Mourinho was there. That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
They didn't. I don't think. Did they finish top 4 that season?
Yeah,
I don't think
second, weren't it?
Oh, yeah.
But they
won it anyway.
Because everyone slated him for finishing second.
Yeah.
Because they were like, oh, we could have won, you know, it could have gone higher and higher. But then in that era, it was, you know, Pep was at his best.
Yeah, that was City through and through.
So, you know, to finish second and then go and win the Europa League.
And the Community Shield. And the
League Cup. I forgot
when
about
they did that. They won the Europa League and he was pretending like the Community Shield counted towards a treble.
I forgot about the Community Shield.
Yeah, you can't forget when we beat Leicester.
Oh, yeah. You know, so it's it does provide great, because like Chelsea won it straight the year after they got knocked out. They got knocked out because they won the Champions League. Mm-hmm. Then obviously, because they dropped out of the Champions League because they were playing in the Champions League. Mm-hmm. And then the next season, they couldn't retain it, so they ended up dropping into the Europa League and then ended up winning it, didn't they?
Branislav Ivanovic.
Yeah, was it against Benfica?
Mm-hmm.
In Amsterdam.
Extra time.
So I think
the product placement.
I think the fact that the winner goes into the Champions League helps the Europa League a lot, because because then clubs are looking at it going, that's right. If we can't make it in the league, we've got everything at the Europa League. Because, like I said, teams like Arsenal. Because I think
teams like Arsenal, yeah.
That
was it.
Because I think that's what the FA Cup and some of the League Cup is missing. You know, right. a pathway into the Champions League. Because I think it used to. I think the FA Cup used to. If you won the FA Cup, you got into the qualifying stages of the Champions League.
Probably, I wouldn't be surprised.
Because I think Wigan ended up going into qualification stages.
Swansea, I think, were as well, weren't they?
I think that was. I think because they won I think the League Cup was always Europa League or UEFA Cup. Oh. I think, and then it was FA Cup was Champions League.
Oh.
Because it was like, obviously it's been running. It's the longest club competition in the world. So I think with the fact of how long it's been running, I think they just kind of went, it's more of a prestigious trophy. So if you win it, you go into the qualification stages. Because I think you went straight in at the first round or the second round.
Yeah.
Because if I remember right there, like I said, I think Wigan were in it at one point. I might be
the
wrong.
Europa League.
Pardon?
In the Europa or Champions?
The Champions League, but I might be wrong. I might be completely wrong. I probably am. Because I saw it. It was one of the European. Both. It was either like I said. It was either FA Cup was Champions League, and the League Cup was Europa League, or it was you were both in the Europa League.
They're in the Europa League.
Right.
I mean, they didn't do very well. They had Ruben Kazan, Maribor, and Zulte Waregem, and they finished last.
So
they didn't do very well.
But it's the fact that you're able to go into Europe.
Yeah.
Whereas now it's like they don't really get. I don't think the FA Cup or the League Cup anymore give you any incentive.
No, I don't think they do.
Which is why I think you see some of the bigger teams, like Liverpool, for example, and things like that, fielding weaker sides.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Because it's almost like, why would you put everything into it to get nothing out?
Yeah, definitely. There's no point injuring and risking players.
Yeah, for nothing. That's why the Johnson Paint Trophy should have. You should go straight into Europe.
You should win the Champions League if you win that trophy.
Yeah. I thought there was going to be a new club competition, a European club competition.
What, a league?
Pretty much.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It was almost going to be like a third. It was going to be like, I can't remember what it was going to be called, but it was like you had the Champions League, the Europa League, and then there was going to be like another competition that they ran.
Yeah, I heard about that. I think they're going to probably try to implement it, but I don't think that'll be very popular. They might try and do it for like a year or two, and then, well, I hope they don't do it because it's just going to be shit.
It'll almost be like the Confederations Cup.
Yeah,
that was just a pointless. That was a pointless trophy. A pointless competition. So
no one wants it.
Year after the World Cup, and literally all they do is they put in winner of the World Cup, winner of Copa America. Winner of the Gold Cup, winner of the Asia one, whatever the Asian one was, and then the winner of the African Cup of Nations.
Yeah,
and then they played.
It's just.
But it was like but then there was rules where it was like you couldn't play players who had played in in a tournament or something like that. It was a bit odd.
It's just another way of trying to make money.
Yeah,
and it doesn't always work.
And then they end up being all that, and then they end up being the curse.
What curse?
The Confederations Cup curse. Because if you won the Confederations Cup, you went next World Cup or the next Euros or whatever. You went out in the group stages.
Yeah.
I think it was just I think it was just the World Cup. Yeah. Yeah, because Germany won the last one, which was in 2017, I think. Mm-hmm. And then look what happened in 18.
Yeah. And Heung-min Son has won it for South Korea.
Yep. So they went out, crashed out, and so I think if I remember right, I think that's what the curse is. It's like if you because it happens a year after the Euros, but it happens. So then it's the World Cup.
Yeah.
Another talking about insignificant competitions, the Club World Cup. That's happening now. That's been happening over the week.
Bayern Munich played like Al Ali or something, didn't they?
Yeah, and then they're playing. I think they're playing Tigres at some point.
It's something that just so doesn't interest me. United could play in it, and I'm just so not bothered.
I think it would be good if it wasn't smack bang in the middle of the week for us.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, playing Tigres tonight.
It's just not at the best time. It's against teams that you don't really have much interest in watching.
Yeah, because it's like if United play against Al Ahly or, don't get me wrong, you'd like to see him against Boca Juniors, River Plate, stuff like that. But it's like
South American teams, not that sort of.
And
thing.
I think if it was, it was like a tops, so many, like you had two from each, or you had sort of like the top four from each continent or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it was like win the top two. Let's say, for example, top two in Japan, the top two in China. They were in like they were sort of the Asia sort of category.
Yeah,
you had maybe some two from Australia or four from Australia, should I say? They were like Oceania. You had four from Europe, four from America, four from South America.
Yeah, but wouldn't it be unfair if you played? Surely the European teams or the South American teams just have a massive advantage.
Well, then
because the exposure is so huge to them, and they get the majority of the best players.
Yes, but I think it puts those leagues and those other teams on the world stage.
Into the mainstream, yeah, I get you.
And then kind of make it like because then you could get rid of the Confederation. Like obviously they got rid of Confederations Cup, so you could run it in between the years of the in between the years of the Euros and World Cup, for example.
Yeah.
Every other year to give something, and then make it a proper, like a really good set. It's like a good tournament, just say.
Yeah.
Because then you'll have, let's say you have four from Europe, four from Japan and China. You've got 4 from Australia, 4 from the Middle East and Africa, 4 from North America, and maybe what sort of 2 from Central America, depending on where Mexico comes in, because I don't know where FIFA draws the line at what's in what continent.
Right.
And then you've got South America, obviously, you got top 4.
Yeah.
And I think run that, and you've got then set that into. So how many teams you got there? 16? No, more than 16. But you got like 20 odd teams. You got nearly 20 teams. That's like 5 groups of 4.
Yeah, it's just I just always have a problem with that. Like even United when they used to play FIFA Club Cup and like what you're on about, all them sort of games, it just doesn't seem important enough because it's only once. I don't know.
It's like once in a blue moon, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's not marketable because the teams aren't comparable. It's usually like the Al Ahly versus Bayern Munich. They're so far apart. I would assume even Bayern Munich fans probably didn't even watch it because it's like, well, we know what the score's going to be. We know we're going to win. Al Ahly are probably watching it because it's like, we never play this competition with this level of competition. But the only positive for it is that it gets the players, the clubs,
the other teams
into the mainstream.
Yeah.
But it's once. Like it's not going to be. They'll play that game and then the rest of the world will forget about them.
Yeah, well, you said that Al Ahly only lost to Bayern Munich 2-0.
Yeah, but again, it's like you don't have to play so great. You probably don't have to play half of your players.
Well, let's see the Bayern Munich squad. The Bayern Munich squad. It was Neuer in net, Davis left back, Alaba, Boateng in centre back, Pavard right back, Rocker and Kimmich central midfield, Gnabry, Muller and Koeman in attacking midfield, and Lewandowski up front. They brought on Sane, Choupo-Moting, Tolisso, Sule, and Mazalia.
Yeah, just forget everything I just said then.
And everyone in the Al Ahly team, they didn't have a bad game. They're about they're rated like, I think the lowest rating is a 5.6.
Right.
So they didn't have a bad game.
Yeah, but do you reckon them Bayern Munich players are contracted to play in those games because when the Al Ahly fans or Saudi Arabian country is watching, they want them players to play? So they're obligated to.
It might be written in the rules of the tournament that you have to have.
You can only have a handful of youth team players, or you have to have the majority first team players.
Yeah, you can't field a weak side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the rules of the competition is.
Yeah.
But it always gets me because it's like, it's always held in, it's either held in the Middle East, Africa, or Asia.
Again, but isn't that just to give it a bit more exposure?
Yeah, because it's like
to take the mainstream football to countries that don't have exposure.
2019 was Qatar, that was when Liverpool won it. 2018 was UAE. 2017 was UAE. 2016 was Japan. 2015 was Japan. 2014 was Morocco. 2013 was Morocco. 2012 and 2011 was Japan. UAE for 2010, 2009. 2008, 2007, 2006, 2005 was all Japan. and then Brazil was 2000.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think it is just they want to give other countries a chance to see the level of football.
And I think it also helps with the marketing of the clubs, because obviously you would only break into the, for example, Barcelona won't break into the. I know they're a big side still, world, but if you think about it deeply, they're not going to break into like the Japanese market unless they buy a Japanese player.
Yeah,
because it's like, for example, if it's like you see Tottenham with Son. I know he was a good player, but that was all. The other reason why they bought him was because he was South Korean.
Yeah.
So I think it could be much better than it actually is. Obviously, but I don't think. I think like you said, I think it's just one of those throwaways kind of one. Nobody really cares.
No, some people watch it and then forget about it. That's just all it is. It's just
I
something that happens.
I think they just watch it because it's on.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. It's some football that is on when the rest isn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like if you couldn't watch the Wolves versus Southampton game tonight, you've got Bayern Munich versus Tigres on iPlayer.
Yeah, that's true. I'm just looking at on the Europa League, just something that made me laugh. I'm looking at the players, and it's just listing random players. And for Alfredo Morelos, it's got a picture of Muriel. That just made me laugh.
But I think like I said, I think it will come down. I think it will eventually get better, but it's and it will become a proper tournament. But at the moment, it's just a throwaway.
Yeah, definitely.
Because if you ask any Liverpool fan, they're probably not going to be bothered that they won the Club World Cup last year.
No, it's just another trophy. That's definitely at the bottom of the pile.
Yeah. But never mind.
Never mind. Life goes on. Rochdale and Peterborough are never going to be in it, so who cares?
Never say never.
We just got to look forward to the Johnston Paint Trophy.
Yeah, I can't even look forward to that. And I think you mean the Papa John's Trophy.
Sorry.
God, so uncultured.
Damn, I'm so not hip.
I mean, we'll go over, some of the lower leagues. We'll start off with. We'll just go. I mean, when I say we'll go over the lower leagues, we'll go over League One.
Okay.
It's been interesting at the top of the league. Lincoln leading the way.
Yeah,
they had a good season.
Mm-hmm.
I always expected Hull to be in and around the promotion.
Yeah,
coming down last week. Last week.
But yeah, they got relegated last week.
Coming down last season.
Yeah.
And Peterborough, Portsmouth, Peterborough, Portsmouth and Sunderland were always going to be up and around the promotion places as well.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't expect to see Doncaster up there.
Yeah.
Charlton were always going to be mid-table for me, pushing towards playoffs.
Yeah.
But yeah, not really much to
That's
that has changed. 18th.
Oh, you have to scroll all the way down. Jeez.
Yeah. The one that got me was Wigan. The fact that Wigan, 21st,
Mm-hmm.
I thought they'd have at least battled for mid-table.
They struggled though, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, I think it's just issues on and off the pitch, because I think they were lacking money and, owners and that.
At the start of the season, didn't they have to play like pretty much their whole youth side?
That was Bolton.
Never mind.
That was Bolton last season.
Forget that
then. But yeah, we're gonna have had some money problems off the pitch. So I think that's had a massive impact.
But they got a United legend playing for them, so that's all right. Will Keane.
Yeah, it's just a bit. It's just one of those things. I think at the moment at Wigan, I think they'll obviously they will come out of it. It's just I just wish that I want them to stay up, obviously, because at the moment for Rochdale, for me, Wigan and Accrington are the local rivals.
Yeah,
and it takes like half an hour to get to Accrington.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it takes half an hour to get to Wigan as well. So it's like it's not really local.
Yeah.
I want Oldham back.
Oldham back.
Oldham and Bury back. They were some. I had some good times at both of them. Both of them were great. I love it. You think that's one thing like with the lower leagues. It's the local rivalries. Some of the local rivalries mean a bit more. Obviously, United, Liverpool, for example, United City, Liverpool, Everton. No, you know, some of the big like local derbies are still quite big.
Yeah.
When you get down to lower league, it kind of means more.
Mm-hmm.
Especially like Rochdale Oldham was bad.
Yeah.
You know, Rochdale Bury was bad as well. I remember going to flipping Rochdale Bury, and the police must have made at least 10, 15 arrests before the game had even started.
That was just your family.
Thanks. You know, there's been fights and everything. You can probably find them on YouTube.
Probably.
Yeah. I hope that my Rochdale stay up, my team, obviously. But
no.
Yeah. But if we go down, I know we've gone down fighting.
I hope that Peterborough get promoted and Rochdale get relegated.
Okay. But if we get relegated, I hope that Oldham and Bolton and things like that don't go up.
Right, okay. Just because you want to be able to travel to their away days?
Yes. If I can, obviously.
Yeah, exactly. You could add that to your YouTube channel, sneaking into a League 2 game.
I don't think it quite has the same ring as some of the Premier League grounds.
True.
You know, if we do get relegated, you've got, you know, if Tranmere don't like Tranmere, that's not as like Liverpool.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's got some good away days as well. You got like Morecambe, Exeter, Leyton Orient, Crawley, Harrogate, Mansfield, Port Vale. Yeah.
I like how we go from chatting from like PSG and Barcelona to Harrogate.
Yeah, it's because it's the PSG of England, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sure it is.
You know, it's just. I like
away
days are good though.
You can put that in the what's it called?
On the title.
In the title, yeah. Harrogate, the PSG of England.
Where's the first? Have you been on any away days?
Nah, to be honest, no.
See, away days.
I'm not
are
a
great.
real fan. I'm not
away
a real
days
fan.
are great. Where's the furthest I've been? I think the furthest I've been is either Bournemouth or Exeter.
Nice.
Yeah, that's probably the furthest I've been because it was what I used to do with my we'd go with my granddad and we'd take the train down on a Friday and then have a hotel in Exeter or wherever Saturday and Friday night and Saturday night and then go home Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, Torquay, that's another one. Jesus, I know Torquay is that. Yeah, that is a trek. And the worst bit is going to Torquay. I think we lost like 3-0.
So you're just depressed all the way coming back.
I think the worst away day I've been on was against Lincoln, like ages ago. Well, when I say ages ago, I mean like this is like 2005, maybe 2006.
Yeah.
went to Lincoln, lost 7-1.
Wow.
Yeah, that's the worst I felt. That's probably the worst away day I've been on. Best away day I've been on is away at Stockport. Beat him 7-2. Some guy called Glenn Murray scored.
Mm-hmm.
Quite a few goals.
Who's that? You haven't brought him up every conversation we've ever had about Brighton or.
What was it?
I'm surprised you haven't brought up Craig Dawson yet.
Yeah, that's another player that should be in the England squad.
Oh yeah.
Accrington Stanley. Jesus Christ, that is a ground and a half. Fucking hell.
I can just imagine like a little roof. Like a shed.
The away end is bigger than the entire stadium. It's yeah. God, it was horrible. Oh, the pit. Oh, it was such a non-league ground. It was so non-league.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I've had some good memories. That's the one thing. Like that's the one thing about this. I just want to be able to get back to watching the football in person.
Yeah.
And on that.
And on the note of watching Rochdale.
Yes.
Let's get back to the Champions League.
Oh, really? Oh.
No, I'm joking.
No. After all that reminiscing, I think we'll call it there.
Call it a day. End it on the best team in England.
Yeah, exactly.
Up the day.
I agree. I'm happy that you agree with me.
Cheers. I'm probably gonna go do some karate now. Just follow your dad's footsteps. Well, sure. I see you in the foreground.
The thing is, you say that. He's got some training tonight.
And then every so often he'd grab his towel that was on the sofa and I was like,
yeah.
And he'd get back to it.
Yep. But yeah. Yeah, it's yeah, that'll do. Like I said, comment down below what you want us to talk about. If there's anything you want us to talk about,
comment down below.
Yeah. Like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow us on social media. Like I said, there'll be all links. There'll be links down below to his Instagram and my Instagram and Twitter and that.
Both subscribers didn't quite make the 20 that I said, but we move. Yeah.
You got anything to add?
Nah, I hate doing this.
Okay. Thanks. I hope you just meant that bit, not just the entire podcast.
Oh yeah. Of course. 100%. Yeah, just that little bit.
Thanks. That makes me feel great. But that'll be it, and I think that is it. So we'll see you guys next week with another podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.